Good morning, Libras. Thanks for hopping aboard the Libra Love Boat. You know, I always just love having you. You know, the Libra saga continues. Yeah, we're into this deep, aren't we? Well, let's see what your energy's feeling. And then we'll look at their energy. You've discovered something. It could have been through intuition or spiritual guides, life experiences, but you've uncovered something. Not only about this person, but about yourself. You've been in pain. You got a Ten of Swords. So this is a big learning lesson for you, Libra. Big. You've been in some pain. If you're healed, you know, there's 10 swords there. It took a while to heal. You could still be healing. You have to pull those swords out one by one, sew up the wound all by yourself. This is a lonely time during healing and transformation, but you will transform from this. You will have learned your lesson and moved on a stronger and wiser person from this Ten of Swords. Yeah, you've taken some time out. You've had to do some deep thinking about what you've discovered, what you've unearthed, what you've pulled from the ethers, maybe. Yeah, you could have had some codependent energy. You could be having a lot more faith in someone than they did in you. And there was a magnetic draw towards this person. Something pretty darn powerful to where you started to lose yourself, lose your own power, your own energy. And you might have been starting to rely on this person's energy to make you happy. You may have discovered that's probably what you discovered about yourself. You've been giving too much. To the point where your own energy, your own ideas, your own thoughts have made you realize that this was getting out of hand. You had to take control of your life, take control of yourself. Yeah, you're learning. You're learning a big lesson. Let's see what this person in your energy's feeling. They're feeling like they're losing your love. I think you showered this person with affection. Gentle, kind, spiritual affection. And they miss that. They feel that, you know, through what you've discovered here about yourself and them, they feel like they're losing you. So obviously this is the person that put these 10 swords in your back. There's love there. There was love. This person could love you, but they feel they're losing your love. But, I mean, they put you through some hell here, Libra. And you may be rejecting this, I'm not sure. Oh, there we go. Well, they've learned a huge lesson. They've got the Tower card now. So whatever went down, they're the ones that are feeling it now. They're the ones that are learning a big lesson. They're shocked. I'll tell you why they're shocked. Because didn't believe that you were going to leave them. I don't see here that you did leave them. I see here that you're in deep contemplation about the whole thing. You're trying to digest and figure out exactly maybe your next step or what you're going to do. You have to make a decision here about what you've discovered and what you've learned. But they're going through hell now. This is an emotional hell they're going through. Because they didn't think you'd leave them. They thought you'd always be there. They felt that codependent energy that you had towards them. Like they were your happiness. And that's ego. So they treated you poorly, and now they're suffering for it. What they had with you, was great, and they feel that they could be losing the best thing they ever had. They got an Ace of Cups in reverse in the Tower here. Could be karmic for them. It's cold in here today, and I feel like I'm getting a little bit of a runny nose. Of course, I've been sick for a while. But I feel great today. Maybe something's a little hanging over still. Hanging on. Anyway. Yeah, wow. They realized they made your life really complicated. They're realizing through this Tower moment what they've put you through. They're sticking with it though. This person's stubborn, and they want to win, but they're going to win by their own methods, which you may not approve of. It's as if they're standing their ground and they haven't really changed their ways. They know they made you cry or feel horrible. Like I say, they're suffering for it now. They could be weakening as well. I mean, they're softening up. They were all ego for a while, thinking, "Wow, I've got Libra hooked here. They're not. I'm their happiness. If I leave Libra, they're going to be devastated." But what happened here is you discovered something, and now they're devastated. Could be that you discovered your own spirituality and your self-worth, and just how important and good of a person that you really are. This person maybe never wanted you to see that in yourself. They wanted you to lose yourself in them. They're softening though. Oh boy, now they're reminiscing. They're going over all the memories, reading all the texts, trying to just bring up all the conversations you had in their mind. They're going through it. They're feeling this great emotion for you, the loss. You feel like home to them. You made them feel really comfortable. All this is becoming more clear to them now through this Tower that they've had. They may be coming back. They want to come back. They want to revisit this relationship. But they're going to have to lose the ego, and they're going to have to come back correct. Right? Yeah, I think you guys had a special bond. They think that, your bond runs deeper than surface. There's content to it. And they feel they could be happy with you. But they walked away, didn't they? Yeah. On the Six of Cups cards here, there's a little figure on the edge of the card with its back turned and walking away. Either you or they did it, but I believe it's hard to tell which person walked away first. they might have ghosted you or did something that you didn't like, and then you just walked away. This person's really egotistical. They really thought they had a power over you. Like they could control you. You could have been feeding their ego with this showering of love that you put onto them. Well, your heavy interest in them, you know. You could have flattered them and always made them feel good about themselves, and they just couldn't get enough of that. But it was all about them. Totally all about them, wasn't it? Yeah, they got the Five of Swords here. It's in reverse. They're stubborn. They got crazy ideas, and they can be hurtful, but they're softening up. They're coming around. They're realizing just what you meant to them. Now, it might take them some time because they got to get through this tower. But they're realizing what a special person and how meaningful you were to them. I believe this person has a lot of people around him. And could have been suspicious that they were dealing with others. Because, they're trying to act like they don't care. Like they're just, emotionless, basically. Surface. They just want to have a good time, but not for a long time. You got that kind of energy off of them. That's what you started discovering about them. That they were surface, superficial, just out for a good time. They weren't really honest. You didn't know whether they were dealing with other people on an emotional level or, you might have doubted that they were on any emotional level with anyone because you gave them all the emotions anybody could ever need or want. You were there for this person. Your whole spirit, your whole heart. They were surface. Yeah. This is your intuition. This is your intuition, but intuition can also be misinterpreted as your imagination. So you've been imagining all kinds of things, but your intuition did break through. You probably had to release this codependent energy, the energy that made you feel that they were your happiness. You got to make yourself happy. We talk about this, and all readers and psychologists and everybody talks about how you have to learn to love yourself first. You can't love someone properly until you're solid emotionally, You're well balanced emotionally. And you know your own self-worth. Okay? You can give your love so much more genuinely, so much more balanced if you love yourself and you know your own self-worth. Okay. Okay, yeah. So what you did is you built some walls. You put up some boundaries. You're treating this person at arm's length now. Yeah, they could be dangerous, to your emotional health. You don't know. You don't know what's going on here because you've suffered so much already. I mean, you do know what's going on here because you've suffered so much already. That's what I meant to say. So you've got barriers. You're defensive. You could be pissed off. getting to that point. But anger's not going to solve anything. Be logical about this, Libra. This is going to take some logic. This is going to take some psychology on your part if you want this person. But your defenses are up now. Okay. Feel like you've been conned, taken advantage of, used and abused by someone with the power to do that. Someone who's very good at using and abusing. You fell into their game. You fell for their con. Well, yeah, you lost yourself. You lost yourself. And you don't know if you're going to give your cup of love to anybody else right now. You're very emotional. Or you were emotional. Defensive now. You're suspicious of them all over the place. You've lost your trust for this person. It looks like you're going to hold that cup of love close to your chest. You're not. You've changed. All the love you had, you sealed it back up. Put it back into your own cup. Yeah. You're trying to refill your cup again, but it's a slow process. You don't feel open to love anymore. You don't care right now if you get involved with anybody else or not, because you got to work this out. You got to heal. You're still healing probably from this Ten of Swords. That's going to take a while. You may think you healed, but it could be hanging on for some time here. Ten of Swords is some serious business. That's painful. They want to move ahead. Now they want to move ahead. They see what they've lost. They're trapped in a cycle. Like I say, this is what they do. They know what they're doing. They're very good at playing these games. They've probably hurt a lot of people in the past. Whoever they've come in contact with emotionally, they've pretty much destroyed that person. They want another chance. They miss this affection and the love that you poured onto them. Well, they didn't appreciate it when you at the time, but because their ego, you were just feeding their ego. They didn't have any. They didn't really have any other reason in their mind to chase you or reciprocate or do anything, because as long as you were going to be there, filling that cup for them all the time, but you didn't get your cup refilled. It ran out. It ran empty. Just in time. Just in time for you to discover what the heck is going on here. That you're being taken advantage of. You're being used and played. I just shaved, so I got little whiskers and stuff falling out all over the counter here. See me going like this? It's usually whiskers. I do my readings in the morning, What else about this person? Oh, they're remorseful. Yeah, they're reviewing things. Like I said, they're really going over the time you guys spent together. And they're remorseful. They're sad. They know that there was love there. There's full cups of love there, and they kicked them all over. Just dumped them. Meaningless to them. As long as they had their own pride and ego and love of themselves, they were ready to go. But you know what? I don't think this person loves himself at all. Because they can't really show love to other people in a proper way. They're shallow. And it looks like, it's always about them. They don't have much concern for anybody else. But in this case, you made them feel so comfortable, so much like home, that they really miss that. And of course, they miss their ego being fed, too. I mean, who's going to feed their ego now? They could go out and, get involved with just anybody, not even, sexually, just have people around that flatter them and, always on their side. Like I said, this person could have a large group of friends, like a big security blanket that they run to whenever they decide they've been victimized, or a relationship has been sabotaged by them. They'll go running to all these friends or whoever to get sympathy and be praised some more, and however they can get it, to make them feel good about themselves again. But that isn't fulfilling enough for them now. No. They can't run to their friends like a security blanket to hide under anymore. Nope, not since they had this tower. I mean, this is a big realization process they've been going through here. They feel like they want to move ahead, but are they going to come back correct? They see a brand new day with you. That's what they want, a fresh beginning. They think everything could be golden on the other side of this line that they're still standing behind. They're stubborn. They are stubborn. And stingy. But, like I say, they're softening. They want to be more generous with you now. They want to be more giving. That's what they're feeling. Can they do it? Will they do it? See them reminiscing. See them want a new start, new beginning. They're sad. They're learning a lot of lessons. Suffering through them. Your loss is big to them. Big time. They probably didn't realize how they'd feel if you ever left them. Because like I say, they took you for granted. Yeah, they want to be more generous. I think they're very stingy before. With everything. Yeah. They could be playing the victim here now. You don't understand them. You wouldn't wait. They didn't get the right feelings from you. Whatever their story is. They didn't treat you fairly and they know it. But they could come up with all kinds of excuses in their own head. Or excuses to tell their friends or whatever. That's totally unjustified. No. It's totally unjustified. They're just trying to be the victim. They want to be the victim because they don't want to face what you've done or what they've done to you. They don't want to face how they stabbed, every time they put another sword in your back. They don't want to face that. But they know they've done you a grievous injustice, Libra. Big injustice here. Let's see what's going on. Maybe we can clarify some more of this with these oracle cards. Libra, Libra, Libra. You now, since you're gaining your power back, learned all this about yourself, discovered your own self-worth and your amazing value, you're moving in a new and exciting direction. Yeah. You might just leave this mess behind. Or you've already left it behind. I don't know. This could be past, present, or coming up. I believe you're going through this now. I don't know what stage. If you're not moving in a new exciting direction, you will be. You tried to change him. You were desperate to change this person. And the more you tried to change him, the more you fed their ego. The more you tried to convince them of your love and how they should love you, the easier it was for them to push you away because of their confidence and their arrogance. You tried to change him. You can't change anybody. All you can do is change yourself. And maybe hope someone else will change themselves, but you can't change them. Yeah, just what I thought. Way too many characters in the mix. Way too many people. Like I say, this person goes running to a group of people, best friends or whatever. They probably have 1 million best friends. There's just too many people. You couldn't stand it. You didn't want to get involved with all these people and all this different energies. Oh, you know, it might be too much, you know. They could have mentioned, you know, their family and meet all their family, and or, you know, while they were trying to con you, or meet all their friends. You're going to have all the fun with all these people and everything. They didn't mean a word of it. That was part of their con. But you realized, I don't want to hang out with all their friends. I don't want to get involved with that, all that energy, you know. Maybe if they were decent towards me and we had a decent relationship, I could go there, but you're probably wondering what their friends are even going to say about you. And they're snickering behind the back. You know, one of their friends or two of their friends could have had a sexual relationship with you. Now there you are standing there, the next victim in their crowd. Who knows, right? I think a lot of that stuff's gone through your mind. You don't trust this person anymore. Even if they came back and begged for your forgiveness, you'd probably really have to do some contemplation over their offer, because you don't want to go here again. Yeah, they're embarrassed to talk to you. They want to talk to you. I don't know if you confronted them. I don't see any confrontation at all, but they know, somehow they realize now that you've got standards. You've set some boundaries with this person. They just can't believe it. They just cannot believe it. I don't see them, you know, taking any of the blame, really. I see them telling their friends that, you know, things that you might have done or said that hurt them and made them change their mind about you or whatever. But I got a feeling this person, this is what they do, and they knew all along what they were doing. And if they left you high and dry, they knew they were going to do that from the beginning, because that's what they do. They're shallow. They don't want to get involved in a lot of emotions or anything like that, because they get all this attention from all these other people. You know, and so when you gave them all this attention, this real special attention, you know, they realized that you were giving them something genuine, not just chit-chat and praise and all that phony stuff that goes on in crowds. You stuck out. You turned them on to something that they're not used to being involved with, and that's love. You showed them the love, and it scared the hell out of them. Now they're paying for it. what's happening is they're scaring the hell out of themselves because they're having to face the brutal reality of what's going on here. And they're sad about it. But are they going to take the blame? Or admit what they've done to you? Because I think they're admitting it to themselves big time. Their friends and things like that, they're not going to feel shaken or anything. They're going to look very stoic and, I'm still in charge and nothing can faze me because I'm the king or queen or whatever. But in reality, they're falling apart. Falling apart on the inside. Your future now is all about making correct decisions. You've learned a big lesson here. You wouldn't want to repeat this, Libra. So go ahead and just, the card says your future is all about making the correct decisions from now on. That makes sense. Don't be so darn vulnerable, so eager to give. Yeah, they're very restless to talk to you. Very restless, pacing the floor, probably staring at the phone, wondering if you're going to call. They could be too proud, they're too nervous, embarrassed. They're embarrassed. That's what's going on. Because what they did to you was out front. This wasn't something internal or some secret message. This was just a big display. And the cards are asking you to stay consistent and have no fear. There's nothing to fear anymore. You've learned. You've understood. The smart thing, even though you're in pain, is to walk away. Now, when you're in pain, emotional pain, that can become very creative. Channel that emotional pain into something creative. It works wonders. You'll find that you're more creative, you come up with new ideas and everything. You're diverting the emotional pain into creating something. Like, say, for instance, a songwriter, when he's hurt, he comes out with the most beautiful song. See what I'm saying? Big hit. But he did it because he funneled his emotional pain into that song, whether subconsciously or consciously or whatever. That's what was going on there. How else does a songwriter who writes a deep emotional song come up with such deep emotions? Because they've experienced it. I say that because you guys know I'm a musician and I write music and everything, play in a band. And I definitely write my best songs when I'm having an emotional conflict or pissed off at somebody. Pissed off at my partner or the way I've been treated or how lonely I am or whatever. That's how it works. Funnel that pain into creation. But stay consistent now. Whatever you've come up with, whatever you know to be true, just hold on to it. Don't get wishy-washy again. Have no fear. Have no fear. Be bold. Be strong. Stand your ground. You do have some things in common with this person. They could be creative too. In their own way. Because I see this person completely different than you. But they are accomplished at something. They do I see them as kind of a go-getter, actually. Yeah. You felt really empty, didn't you? You could still feel empty, but don't worry. That void will fill back up. Let's hope next time it's with some true love. There's a lot of adversity around you right now. Yeah. Just a lot of stuff going on. Not all of it is positive. You're dealing with a lot. So you're probably glad to get rid of this energy, remove it from your life if you've got so much going on. Yeah, you're dreaming of a much more exciting and abundant life. You really are. This puts you in a bad place. You're going to leave them in the dust. They're already receiving their karma. Yep. That tower was karmic for them. You're going to leave them in the dust, it looks like. And they have jealousy issues too, so when they see you with someone else, it's going to really hurt them all the more. Yeah, you're vibing higher. You're coming back to life, Libra. Yeah, and then you're leaving them now to obsess over you. It's like the table has turned. You were the chaser. I'm not saying that they're going to chase you, but they're obsessing over you. Let's get one more card. Oh. Yeah, well, there is a chance that you could reconcile. I mean, if they come back correct, I mean, right now you feel like you've left them in the dust, and that's what you should do. But if they come back correct, there's a chance you could make up. Isn't that something? Make up with someone that hurt you this much. Yep, there's a chance. There's a chance here. It's up to you, it looks like. Anyway, thanks for stopping by the Old Swedes Bungalow. We're going to look at this story some more next time like we always do. Until then, thanks for stopping by, and peace and love to you.